Good morning, everyone. I can see participants are logging in and we are ready to start today's webinar. My name is Claire Bélanger-Parker. I'm the Executive Director of the Crane Rental Association of Canada, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this presentation. I would like to acknowledge the land acknowledgement that I am joining you from Regina, Saskatchewan, the land of the Cree, the Ojibwe, the Saulteaux, the Lakota, Nakota, Dakota Nation, and the homeland of the Métis. I would like to also say thank you to Amy Krause, who's helping us in the background, making sure our technology flows nicely through this presentation. It is a great pleasure for me to have worked on this preparation with the Manitowoc leadership team. And today I will introduce you to the marketing and sales leadership team of the Manitowoc Company. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our first speaker this morning. Ian Warner is Vice President of Marketing and Investor Relations. He's been with the Manitowoc Company for over 7 years, and he's joining us from the greater Chicago area. Welcome, Ian.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the introduction, Claire. Appreciate it very much. It's a real pleasure to be able to speak with this group. First, just a quick background. I've been with the company over 7 years, and the department is responsible for all the marketing strategy, marketing communications for not only the Manitowoc enterprise, but all of the brands that we have in our portfolio. And all the global trade shows roll up to our department, as well as all of the investor relations activities, as we are a publicly traded company. The Manitowoc Company was established in 1902, started in 1902 in the shipbuilding business. Of course, as the company grew, the company had begun to design and manufacture crawler cranes in 1928. And really over the last 100 years, we played an integral role in literally building the world of tomorrow. And that's through the plethora of cranes that we have in our portfolio, and certainly engaging very closely with our customers on the job sites to build the dreams and structures, whether it's a bridge or monument or road or any structure, stadiums, you name it. The Manitowoc Company has a part of that in the actual building of that future of tomorrow for generations to come. That's why the company's tagline, as you saw on the title slide, is build something real. We really build something tangible that would stand the test of time, after after we're gone, and of course our children and grandchildren are alive. Those structures hopefully will stay there. Globally, the company has a pretty large footprint. 43% of our business is in the Americas, Europe and Africa is 42%, and the Middle East Africa region is 15%. We serve a variety of end markets with the Grove, Manitowoc, National Crane, Potain, and the Shuttle Lift, which is a industrial brand, serving the various different end markets from construction, commercial construction, infrastructure, residential construction with our tower crane business. And you can see on the screen of various, and this is not inclusive, of course, there are many others. We also have support services such as the aftermarket, parts and service, technical skills training, sales skills training, and remanufacturing rebuild we call Encore. On the tower rental business, we serve our customers direct in the tower rental cranes, primarily in the Europe region. Another key service or service that we provide to our customers is through our lift solutions, which is special applications, regardless of the product portfolio that we have. There are customized engineering solutions required by our customers, and we can serve those needs through dedicated lift solutions application engineering team members. So at the end of the day, there needs to be a means to pay for the products, right? So we do have very selective finance partners that we work with globally to serve the various financing solutions required for our customers. And whether it's DLL, which is a Rabobank subsidiary, or PNB Paribas, those are the partners that we primarily work with to serve our customers' needs. So at the end of the day, we serve a comprehensive set of products and services for the diverse markets that include you, our customers. Next, please. So as you can see from the evolution from left to right, as I pointed out earlier, the Manitowoc Company was founded in 1902. So fast forward, what's interesting to note is that there was a tax-free spinoff of our food service business, equipment business in 2016, where we became a standalone crane company in early 2016. And as you look on the timeline, one of the key challenges for Manitowoc is that we had a very restrictive debt covenants at that time. And we worked over the last 5 years to resize the company. We took over $100 million of cost out of our structure. We improved our balance sheet significantly, improved our cash flow. And now we are a much stronger company than before. And the recent acquisition of H&E's crane business and Aspen Equipment Company really underscore the company's trajectory to grow. So transitioning from cost cutting, if you will, to growth is really our mantra at this time. Next slide, please. Just a little background about our manufacturing facilities. We actually have 9 manufacturing facilities globally. 3 of them manufacture the mobile cranes, starting with the Shady Grove, Pennsylvania facility. It's a 300-acre facility, 1.2 to 1.4 million square feet, depending on how you count it. We build a variety of products from lattice boom cranes to truck-mounted cranes, boom trucks, industrials, and rough terrains, and also for the military applications, the all-terrain crane, an all-terrain crane. In Wilhelmshaven, Germany, we design and manufacture the all-terrain crane. And Niella Tonaro, we manufacture tower cranes as well as the rough terrain, select rough terrain products. Next, please. Moving on to the tower crane side, we have 6 plants, 2 in France, 1 in Italy, the one that I mentioned earlier, Niella Tonaro, and 1 in Portugal, 1 in China, and 1 in India. And we serve a variety of end markets and customers through the various manufacturing locations, depending on the need of the customer. So I wanted to take the time to just articulate Manitowoc's vision. And our vision is kind of related to what I talked about earlier. We really believe we build the physical communities and structures for current and future generations around the world. And that's what we do. We're a crane company. And our mission is plain and simple. We aspire to deliver the highest customer confidence and trust in the lifting industry for our customers. Pure and simple. And we do plan to provide, and we also aspire to provide the premier mobile and tower crane products and service and solutions. We're not the cheapest, but we can certainly deliver the best value for money. At least that's the way we feel. We do have 4 core values associated with that vision. One of them is I do what it's right. 1, we deliver results. Another, we work as a team. And 4th, I am a role model. And we have core behaviors that all of our employees are expected to abide by based on those values. And that's really the platform on how we drive our culture at the Manitowoc Company. Next slide, please. So safety is absolutely paramount at the company. Any injury can potentially be catastrophic, as our cranes, as you know, very large products, very heavy products, and there really isn't any margin for error on the shop floor for sure, and on a job site. So we embarked on very concentrated lean thinking, lean practices. We are a lean enterprise. We use all of the lean tools of any industrial company, and we apply those, especially when it comes to our safety vision. What you see here is a poster that's in every company facility. So whether you're in an office or a shop floor or one of our remanufacturing facilities, you should see this particular safety vision signed by our CEO, Aaron Ravenscroft. Next, please. Every company has some type of business system. We call ours the Manitowoc Way, and it's really pretty simple. There's 3 components to that. The business system talks to employee engagement, innovation, and growth initiatives. And in the center of that particular bullseye is the customer. You know, that customer is the focus of everything we do in serving that customer. And that's how the culture is built around. Next, please. I wanted to break that down a little bit further on the employee engagement side. There are key initiatives that we have, and I just highlighted a few of these for you. One of them is safety. I talked about that earlier, absolute paramount. And that is something that there is no compromise when it comes to safety and health and safety within the company. And we adopted many different practices to ensure that we ensure our employees come in safe and they go home to their families safe. Kaizen activities is plentiful. Kaizen, for those who may not understand that word, it's really it's basically the Toyota production system, Toyota management system. Kaizen is a Japanese term of continuous improvement, and we believe in improving one step at a time every single day, and that's the way we abide by those business practices. And we do Kaizen activities, improving it in the shop floor. And you can see in the slides, here's a example. The top photo is actually our CEO in the Porto facility in Portugal, Baltar. And on the bottom is a Kaizen lean workshop. And Chris Eastman is the gentleman who's standing, who's doing a lean Kaizen in one of our facilities. Sales training, we have a lot of sales training efforts to improve the tools among not only our employees, but certainly our dealer partners. And we have a lot of tools in our toolbox to deliver sales excellence and product knowledge. Priority deployment is another lean tool that we use. We have rigorous plans in terms of what we do. And basically we plan things and we implement things and we measure progress. And that's what priority deployment is, step by step. ESG is environmental sustainability and governance. And the company has really embarked on a significant initiative to invest in our ESG. We have a ESG leader, James Cook, that runs all of the initiatives on behalf of Manitowoc. And we are very focused on mentoring and diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we want to have a diverse workforce with diverse backgrounds to ensure that the company becomes a lot stronger company, and great ideas are developed by diverse workforce. Sustainability is a key initiative for the company. We have clear metrics associated with that. Just to give you an example, by 2022, our commitment is to become ISO 50001 certified. That's basically an energy management standard. And presently, our German facility in Wilhelmshaven is ISO 50001 certified, and our plan is to continue that with all of our facilities by 2022 year end to be certified. 2025, there are a number of different initiatives that we have some measurable, tangible goals in terms of volatile organic compound reduction, reducing waste, and greenhouse gas footprint. And those are initiatives that we have measurable progress. We did publish 3 corporate sustainability reports. If you go into our Manitowoc Investor Relations site, you should be able to access any of those reports. Next slide, please. Innovation is a continuous journey. And since we became a standalone crane company, we have launched over 60 new products over the last 5 years. It really underscores our commitment to customers and our new product development to develop highly productive cranes that exceed the customer's quality and reliability expectations. It really is important for us to instill confidence and trust in our customers' minds with our products and services. Next slide, please. So let me talk briefly about the growth priorities. We publicly disclose our growth priorities. There are 4 key priorities that we've laid out to various stakeholders. First and foremost is grow tower crane rental and aftermarket business in Europe. This is focused in Europe in creating a larger, more significant crane rental fleet, and that would drive other ancillary business opportunities in Europe. And it starts with a sizable crane rental fleet in Germany. The second one is to really build out our China business, if you will, which serves not only China, but the Belt and Road regions with our tower crane business driving that. And what we mean by that is really developing products that suit the local market requirements, and there are unique customer needs that there are existent in that particular region, and we're really using our organic China-based engineering team to develop those products as well as manufacturing them to serve those customers. And then the third is really accelerating the new product development in all-terrain cranes, and fourth is expanding aftermarket activities in North America. On the next slide, I'd like to highlight the third point of the growth priorities. And accelerating the new product development in the all-terrain cranes is relevant, certainly in Canada, because a lot of these cranes are utilized in the region, in North America, Canadian market included. So we really want to fill key product gaps and compete with the other major manufacturers. And we are planning 4 new cranes over the next 5 years. Next year, many of you know that the Bauma trade show was postponed to October 2022. And we are very, very excited to be able to showcase some of those new cranes at that particular trade show. So watch out, stay tuned. The third is really developing some of these cranes to suit the local markets, whether it's a niche market in South Korea or Japan or Russia, the homologation or ensuring the standards that those particular markets have that are unique are met. And there's a significant number of engineering hours required, but there are growth opportunities in serving those markets, and we're embarking on that journey. Fourth is developing Grove Connect. It's a new telematics initiative, and Mark Hooper will talk about that a little bit later. And that's an initiative that is basically a telematics solution based on the voice of the customer that we are embarking on. And then the last two, we're leveraging the pending acquisitions of H&E Cranes, which is now renamed or will be renamed MGX Equipment Services, and the Aspen Equipment acquisition will help drive additional organic growth for the company. And the last dot point is just wanted to let you know that we've committed another incremental $4.5 million in 2021 on the new product development initiatives alone for the all-terrain cranes. Next, please. On the fourth growth priority, we talked about expanding the aftermarket in North America. As I pointed out earlier, so we announced the acquisitions of both H&E Cranes, which is highlighted as MGX Equipment Services on this slide, and Aspen Equipment. It really is the foundation of Manitowoc getting closer to the customer, and there are a number of different benefits to that. Let me talk about that in the next slide, please. We believe we can serve our customers with a more comprehensive aftermarket business solution with the 15 branches that we acquired. And with that comes with over 350 team members with a largest population of growth in Manitowoc service technicians in the world. And this is very key. At the end of the day, we want to get closer to the customers, serve those customers with industry leading service, technical service. And it really is a growth engine for a less cyclical, higher margin revenue stream for the company, whether it's service, parts, or the financing options with rentals and used sales. It does extend the breadth of the product offering beyond being an OEM company, the original equipment manufacturer of cranes. So we're extending beyond that and get close to the customers. And really, there is another enabler. It does give us a greater ability to service the very large national accounts, multinationals that are out there, that whether it's a general contractor or crane rental company, we can serve that customer better with this strategy. And I just wanted to highlight that with the Aspen Equipment company, the Aspen has a terrific truck upfitting capabilities, and there are great synergies with the National Crane boom trucks in expanding that particular market footprint. And the Aspen Equipment company team will really help us catapult us to growth. Next, please. I wanted to conclude my portion just to summarize the aspirational goals that we have here. We really strive towards a zero harm work environment where our recordable injury rates, actually we target 0, but it's less than 1 per 200,000 hours is the way that our metric is. Aspirational goal, we want to get to $2.5 billion in revenue. Last year we were just over 1.4 billion in a very tough market. As we all know, with the pandemic and whatnot, there's been a real challenge, but that's a goal we've set ourselves out to achieve over the long term. Increase our aftermarket and reduce our cyclicality is really key, because the crane industry is so lumpy. There's so high peaks and valleys, and we want to have some type of recurring revenue stream through the aftermarket business. We do have an active acquisition pipeline, make no mistake about it, and we'll do that when the opportunity presents itself. At the end of the day, we wanted to manage liquidity and our liquidity and balance sheet capacity to ensure that we continue as a sustainable company. And in the peak, we want to reach double-digit EBITDA, and that's an aspirational goal. The last two, we want to reduce the company's environmental impact with clear ESG goals that I talked about earlier. And last but not least, it's important to foster a diverse and inclusive workforce. Our workforce is diverse now, but we certainly want to continue that trajectory to become a employer of choice around the world. So with that, I will conclude and turn it over to you, Claire.
Thank you so much, Ion. Stay with me for a while. I realized if I wasn't so nervous in this virtual world, getting these webinars going, it's been quite a learning curve for all of us through COVID, learning to communicate through this virtual environment. I would have chatted a little bit more, and for sure I would have told our guests to prepare their questions for you and use the Q&A function at the bottom of their screen to send us some question. I've been with the Crane Rental Association since 2012, Ion, and every single day, every time I interact with your team members and members across Canada, I learn so much about the crane industry, and it's fascinating as CRAC, as we know, we fondly and friendly names to ourselves as the CRAC people here in Canada. We often, we are now open to all crane companies. We certainly still have a majority of all-terrain cranes, but we are seeing a growing numbers of every type of cranes that enter our market. This was an impressive worldwide tour of the Manitowoc Company, and thank you very much. Very impressive aspirations for the company as well. And I'm really interested to hear what the rest of the team has to say about the unique customer needs, especially here in Canada in our great winters in the Great North. There's always so many adaptations. So when you're adapting a crane to the winter market, Ion, is this happening right in Pennsylvania or other manufacturers when you're looking at the winterizing of a crane coming into our country?
Yeah, so we do cold weather testing in actually Minnesota and other cold weather, and of course in Europe as well. So we're also able to simulate extremely cold and hot weather conditions in our product verification centers, and we do have some chambers that subject all of our components and subcomponents to severe conditions, just to ensure that the quality and reliability meet or exceed the customer's expectations and our own internal metrics. So we do a lot of that type of testing, of course, as well as a lot of field testing to ensure the products meet those quality and reliability expectations that we have.
Oh,
I hope
great.
that's the question.
Absolutely, and you know, I'm as an association leader, to see that you're fostering diversity and inclusivity in the workforce is very pleasing, as we've been working for a couple of years now at the association level to provide some support to our members who are at the beginning of their journey in diversity and inclusion. So thank you for your time, Ion. Really appreciate. We'll come back together, all together at the end. But now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next guest speaker this morning. I met Mark Hooper for the first time at the Prince Edward Island conference in 2 years ago now, in 2019. Mark is Vice President of Sales in North America for Manitowoc and Grove Mobile Hydraulic Cranes. Mark, welcome. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, Claire, and thank you for having us. Yeah, I was thinking about the Prince Edward Island meeting and just what a great time that was, and how we all look forward to being back together in person, face to face, breaking bread again, and in a safe way. But being face to face again would be very nice. But anyway, we're in virtual world today, and just look forward to sharing what we have from Manitowoc and Grove perspective.
Thank you, Mark.
So for my part, just a little background. I've been with Manitowoc 3.5 years, and have prior to that, I was with another industrial equipment company for 21 years, sales, marketing, dealer development, strategic initiatives. And so just excited to be in the crane business, in the crane industry. So if we can go to the next slide. So I wanted to take some time just to introduce some of our team members that support our dealers and support you. First of all, Harrison Hipple. He is He's mostly Western Canada, focuses on Western Pacific, MyJack Canada. Kobe Bingaman supports Strongco in Eastern and Western Canada. And Keith Kreider supports Shawman Equipment in the Maritimes. These are our sales support people. And then from an after sales perspective, we have Brian Hill supporting Western Pacific, MyJack Canada, and Strongco. And then Mike Warner supports Shawman Equipment in the Maritimes. Now, I mentioned our dealers. We do have a pretty comprehensive dealer coverage network in Canada, Western Pacific on the West Coast, and you will see the key there. Grove and Manitowoc are in red, National is in green. We put these on there since there's a lot of overlap between these brands in terms of our representation. So Western Pacific out on the West Coast, we have Falcon Equipment on the National boom trucks. Central Canada is more Strongco and MyJack Canada. Eastern Canada is Strongco. And then the Maritimes, as I said, is Shawman Equipment. Okay. So I wanted to get into some of the new products, some of the latest products that we have in our portfolio, and I'll speak from a Grove perspective. And I'll start with the rough terrains. Ian mentioned a lot of innovation, 60 new models in the last 5 years. And along with that is a really renewed focus on improving and developing the best quality products that we have. So our RT range is 11 models from 30 to 165 US tons. And the GRT series represents the newest model of RTs with all the new latest crane control software and other features. The GRT is also the first series to be designed and built under the Manitowoc way with a focus on quality. Ian mentioned the Product Verification Center, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But this is really developed around supreme quality and reliability focus. And the GRT series started with the 8100 and 880, then went to the 655, and now these new models, the GRT 8120 is 120 US ton, 60 meter main boom. It's with that type of length, it's usually the type of length that you see on larger cranes. And then you put it on a compact carrier that's very similar in footprint to our 8100. And you've really got a nice crane that can go into refineries, utilities, and a host of other applications where maybe some other cranes don't fit as well. So this is a nice rental unit that we have in our lineup. And then the GRT 9165 has been out about 1.5 years. It is a 3-axle crane, 165 US tons, 62.5 meters of main boom. And it really provides the strongest lifting performance in its class, but it's also designed about being transportable, and it has a self-rigging capability as well, so that you don't need the support cranes on site to get this set up. So these are our 2 latest cranes in the GRT lineup. On the truck mount side, real quick on the TMS 500, it's a 36-ton machine, 3-axle, 29 or 31 meter main boom. And it really is a nice, handy crane to get in and out of quick jobs. And so far, we've had quite a bit of success with this crane. It's been out about 2.5 years now. And then on the large side of the truck cranes, the TMS 9000-2, this crane has been fully repowered with a Cummins X12 engine. And we've also optimized and changed some of the outrigger design that provides increased clearance and better departure angle for accessing sites, as well as easier setup and quicker setup when on site. So that's an update to our TMS 9000 product. And then in addition to that, talking about innovation, at the same time, we've taken the TMS 9000 and we've added rear steer capability, and we call that the TTS 9000. And this is a new model. The first one is in test right now, but this will be out and available next year. It provides the same lifting performance as the TMS 9000, but it really significantly changes the maneuverability around job sites. It provides both coordinated and crab steer capabilities, as well as you can fix the rear wheels as you're driving down the road. On the Telecrawler product, we've been in the Telecrawler business for about 6 years now. We've got a whole new line of cranes that are coming out now that are based on a new design structure, where we've really taken a look at these cranes and their usefulness on the job site and their flexibility. And a lot of times these cranes are working in out of level conditions. And so we've built the cranes based on what an out of level condition would be, with the strongest charts that we can in those conditions. And so what we have here is the GHC. The GHC 140 was actually launched a year ago. It's 127 metric ton, 52.1 meters of main boom, and it has the longest boom and unmatched lifting capacities when working out of level. And that was our goal, is to provide the strongest crane in that real world type situation. And along with that then is the GHC 110, which was just launched, and those cranes are shipping now. And the 110 has the strongest capabilities in its class, plus it adds asymmetrical track span capability as well. So again, a little feature there that helps with the flexibility and maneuverability around the job site. And then our all-terrain cranes, Ian mentioned quite a bit of development going into putting out new models with all-terrains, and want to highlight 3 recent introductions. The GMK 4080-3 is an 80 metric ton, 51 meter main boom. It's a nice, handy 4-axle, lightweight taxi crane that really works well in certain markets. The GMK 5250 XL, it's 250 metric ton, 300 US ton. It's got a 78.5 meter main boom. It's the longest boom available on 5 axles, and it has class leading capabilities. And this has really been very successful for us. We've sold quite a few in the first year and a half that this crane has been out. And then I do want to mention, just to highlight the GMK 6400. You know, we used to have a 6400. We've been working on upgrading this crane with new emissions. And so we are launching this crane in 2022, should be out probably second quarter, close to mid-year. And this crane will have unmatched carrier performance with the capacities that compete with 7-axle cranes. It will include the new crane control software, boom configurator, max base, and it will have mega wing lift as well. So another very large all-terrain coming out, which will help fill a product gap in our line. So maybe switching gears, and Ian mentioned our Shady Grove campus, but I just want to just mention this out. We have such a unique site here in Pennsylvania. It's in North America. It's close to our customers here, and it's available. I throw this out. I know travel restrictions makes it hard to travel, but as restrictions ease up, I want to invite everybody to come to Shady Grove to find out what goes on here. Not only do we manufacture most of our cranes, mobile cranes for North America, but also on site our engineering resources, all of our crane care support, and our dealer training is based here, as well as some of our key management. And I just want to invite everybody to come to Shady Grove when you get the chance. So I want to talk a little bit about quality improvements, and Ian mentioned investment in the PVC testing. So when we became a standalone crane company, there was certainly a renewed focus around building quality cranes and being a reliable supplier to our customers. And so there's been a lot of work with this PVC site, Product Verification Center. And as Ian said, we put cranes and components through a number of different tests. We can do temperature extremes, we can do pressure changes, humidity, we can simulate rain, torrential rain, we do corrosion testing. And a lot of this has driven significant improvements in a number of areas in some of the electronic components that we use in our hydraulics, in cold weather packages, our paint system. And that's where we really, I think, changed significantly in terms of developing that quality product. And this PVC site is available at Shady Grove when you come to visit us to go tour that. And as part of as I said, the GRT product line was the first product line to be developed under this quality platform. And so in recognition of that and some of the quality improvements that have been made, we do have an industry-leading 2-year standard warranty on all of our GRT products, with an optional 3 years extended warranty on top of that for a total of 5 years. So when we talk about peace of mind and really putting our money where our mouth is, this is a good example of that. And it is available on the GRT 655, 655L, the GRT 880, 8100, the GRT 8120, and the 9165. So Ian also mentioned telematics, and Claire, I know this is a question that that you had brought up while we were doing our pre-work. Telematics. So currently, we on the mobile side, we have CraneStar, and it does provide a lot of basic data in terms of crane function and things that you would normally track through your fleet management software. It will produce a file that you can upload into your crane management software. And we work with customers specifically on making sure that matches up. As Ian mentioned, we're working on the next generation, the new telematics platform that will be called Grove Connect. And it provides a lot of that basic functionality, but also improves the overall access. There's additional analytics within there. There's API data transfers it's more seamless. And then it also will provide, when it's fully deployed, it will provide remote diagnostics as well. So it just helps in terms of making sure that when there is an issue, we can connect, we can get it resolved quickly, and get the machine back up and running on the job site faster. And this will be deployed over the next 2 to 3 years. It starts with the GMK product line, But again, Crane Star is on most of our other products.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Mark. It's certainly in our conversation these days for telematics, because the electronic logging device regulations are coming across Canada. We know that we've been able to have AT cranes exempt in some provinces, but not in all. And we're watching very closely how to prepare our members in order to have their fleets ready when the regulations come through here across Canada. I do have a quick question in regards to the ATs, because we are currently, I don't know if you're involved, but the Boom Dolly Research Committee that is quite active in Western Canada. We're working on increasing the weights in Alberta right now. We have a strategic committee working on the ask. We are currently in the middle of a pilot project in Alberta with increased weight for spring, summer, fall, and winter has been approved at 12.5 kg per axle a year and a half ago. The Alberta, the BC challenge is quite different than Alberta, but the goal is to harmonize the transportation of cranes and movement of cranes in the northern corridors of Alberta and BC. You do not manufacture dollies, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so do you work closely in terms of the communication pieces between the crane and the dollies that are required for, pretty well anywhere across North America in terms of moving the cranes? Is there some research being focused on making sure that the crane and the dolly are communicating, and for safety, obviously safety reasons and others?
We do spend quite a bit of time on this. I don't know specific research projects, but we're very active from an industry perspective. I know through SCNRA, we work with the Boom Dolly committees, and we've been tracking as well the committee work in Canada. And we have resources in Shady Grove that are that we can leverage, because we work in every market across North America. There's so many different regulations, and with weights, and you have frost laws and things to deal with, and it's a challenge to meet every local market requirement. But we work hard at that, and we're certainly willing to take a look or to be a resource for CRAC in this work.
Thank you. I mean, our biggest challenge for sure is the bridge formulas, because they're different in every province. And our work hopefully will bring some solutions to our members, and working with you and other manufacturers is certainly helpful. So thank you very, very much, Mark.
You,
I'm going to check to see if we have any questions coming through right now. I do not see any questions coming through, so I'm ready to introduce our third speaker. Besides finding out that Kevin Blaney's impressive background as Vice President in sales for Crawler Cranes, I hear that he's a big fan of craft beers, which we have amazing craft beer in Saskatchewan. I hope you come and visit us, Kevin. But his background, when he started working in the crane industry, is in engineering. So welcome, Kevin. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, from stories over the years that I've heard of the CRAC meeting, I think my hobbies might fit in well with the members of CRAC. So I look forward to in the future joining the group in person.
Sounds great. Over to you now.
All right, thank you. So Manitowoc Crawler Cranes have a very rich and a proud history working throughout Canada. We're lucky to be partnered with quite a few dealers throughout the country that we work closely with, that we're happy to have supporting the Manitowoc product throughout Canada. And with the help of a lot of these dealers over the last couple of years, there's been some fairly high profile jobs in Canada that we're pretty proud of. Not just in North America, not just around the world, but one project that comes to mind recently is the Champlain Bridge project over the St. Lawrence River in Quebec a few years ago. We had everything from 14,000s, MLC 300s, 650s, and M1200 ring there. The project was a great success, and we wouldn't have had that success without our friends and our partners at Strong Co. and Shawmut. So we thank them for what they did, not just on that project, but what they do for us day in and day out in Canada. Another bridge project going on right now that's involving Manitowoc crawler cranes is the Gordie Howe International Bridge, which is connecting Detroit and Windsor. Throughout that, we've, as Claire mentioned, some of the pandemic-induced challenges has come into play there, but with the help of our dealership, we're doing a good job there on that project. And our friends at Western Pacific, we shipped a MLC 300 with VPC Max into British Columbia probably early last summer, early 2020, right when COVID was peaking and travel restrictions in place. And happy to say for probably pushing a year and a half, probably 14, 16 months, with good communication between the factory and the team in Manitowoc, the team at Western Pacific. The MLC 300 is the critical path machine on this project in BC. If that crane goes down, the project stops. So the machine in Western Canada has been working very well for us for the last year and a half or so. So like I said, a proud history of crawler cranes in Canada. I want to talk to you today about a few of our newer products on the smaller side of the scale that Manitowoc offers. You know, we offer everything from our new 100-ton crane up to a MLC 650. And thinking back, I've been with Manitowoc for 17 years, started in 2004. And for the vast majority of my career, what we've been producing new from the factory has been the larger side, 16,000, 31,000, MLC 300s, MLC 650s. All of those cranes are highly technical, highly engineered. And then when we transition the engineering, the design teams over to MLC 100s and 150s, it's a different mindset. We don't want complex. We don't want highly engineered. We wanted simple cranes that are price competitive and that are reliable. And our teams have delivered on that. And I think that's seen in our market share data and our warranty data on both these models. So the MLC 100-1, we introduced that at our Crane Days event in 2018 in Shady Grove. We started shipping units the following year. In total, in North America, we have 60 units that have shipped from Shady Grove, all 100% manufactured and assembled in Shady Grove. We have quite a few working in Canada. And then we've taken what we learned on the 100-ton crane and really made a big brother to it, the MLC 150, which we introduced last year at Con Expo with shipments starting earlier this year. To date, so far this year, we've shipped 10. None of them have crossed the border north into Canada, but we look forward to that opportunity of getting more of both the MLC and the MLC 150 delivered into Canada. Like I said, the MLC 150 is really just the big brother for the MLC 100, a lot of similarities between the two machines. Nothing overly complex, nothing that's gonna wow the market too bad, but that's exactly what we wanted the design team to do. A sturdy, reliable, self-efficient crawler crane to address the lower end of our market. So both cranes share similarities in their self-assembly systems. A boom shiv, a shiv in the boom butt, I should say, is one thing that comes to mind to really make self-assembly easy, as well as the gantry for installing the counterweights on the backside. That really takes away a lot of complexity in the self-assembly process to make sure that the crane gets erected in a safe and quick manner. Both cranes have our CCS control system, which is fairly common throughout the product line at this point. It allows both cranes to have common components, a similar interface, and the ability to have some onboard troubleshooting diagnostics as well. So understood, especially with the MLC 150 being a new machine that was introduced at Con Expo last year. And as Mark said, some travel restrictions between the borders right now. If and when the time comes, would love to have anybody down to Shady Grove to show them these machines in person anytime. And then one other thing I just want to mention and maybe challenge our friends here today on is to challenge us on if you need something that hasn't been done before, or you haven't seen it on a particular Manitowoc machine, we have a group of dedicated engineers in Manitowoc, not just engineers, purchasing members, planners, and their job is to address your needs, design something that hasn't been designed before, give you permission to maybe travel a crane in a manner that hasn't been done before, whether it's some extra grade, a little bit more allowable wind based on a particular sail area. We got a group of engineers that are pretty smart. Anything from special camera packages, barge tie downs. If you need to put a power pack on the back of your crane, we need to give you a special counterweight configuration to account for the additional weight of that power pack so you can run an attachment on the front side of that crane. I would ask you to challenge us. If there's something that you need that's not available, we don't want to say no to you. We sure want to take a look at it and address any needs that you might have. So that's just a quick walkthrough, Claire, of some of the newer Manitowoc crawler cranes.
That's a terrific presentation. Thank you, Kevin. I think, yeah.
Absolutely.
We talked earlier with Ion about getting ready for the cold climate.
Sure.
I'm curious now, what has been the most challenging request you've ever had from a crane owner or crane
Sure.
rental company? Talk to me about that a bit.
Yeah, one thing that comes to mind is the pedestal mounted 18,000 is shown there, and that has a 100-foot back mast in it, Claire. Okay. And we had some of these machines that were going down a river. So there was obviously some bridge requirements that we had to fold the back mast over the top of the boom in order to get clearances on that. And as you mentioned with the weather, so that's on, we do a lot of physical designs like that, but there's even non-physical ones, and we talk about cold weather. We've approved the ability to use non-standard hydraulic oil in machines before. So if there's a particular oil that some of our customers in Canada might have had success on in the past, whether it's on dirty equipment or other heavy equipment that they feel is applicable to a crane, give us the specs on it. We'll take a look at it and see if that would be a good resource to use in the middle of January and February in Canada to keep the hydraulic oil at a working temperature as best we can. That's
great to know. I have one more question that just popped
Absolutely.
in my mind in terms of best practices. For every change that you make to a crane or every adaptation, are you really keeping track of those best practices and what works? And is there a library of resources that members can access?
Yeah. Well, I don't say if members can access it, but I'm happy to have them reach out to us anytime. When we talk about our new product development teams, there is a system that we follow on every new product. We do document what we've learned over the past, and we certainly review those whenever it comes time to make a new design. We certainly go back and look at what we've done in the past, what we could have done differently to make a little bit more successful product.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us, Kevin. This has been a great presentation, and we are ready for our next speaker. Thanks. We'll see you back at the end.
Look forward to it.
Our next speaker is well known at the CRAC conference. Michael Enrick is Vice President of National Crane Boom Trucks and Industrial Cranes. Mike, the cat's out of the hat. I think we're going to see a few more people kind of showing up at the next conference, which is going to be live in person next May in Niagara-on-the-Lake in Ontario. So welcome, Mike. It's great to see you again.
Oh, thank you so much, Claire. And it's a welcomed response to be thinking about in-person meetings. I can't wait again to get through some of the challenges we've had in the COVID timeline and the pandemic for sure. So even though most people tell me I have a great face for radio, I look forward to seeing all of our members in person.
Great. Over to you, Mike.
Thank you so much. On the first slide, just kind of showing a little bit of my team here. Tim Moffitt, who works with ALT Sales and Shawmut Equipment, covering the Maritimes. Randy Hoover, who works with Western Pacific, and Walter Payton Power. They help support some of the MyJack efforts up in Canada. And then currently I'm in search of a replacement for me, who's temporarily covering the Falcon equipment in the Western Canada pieces. I've Personally, I've worked in the Canadian market in one of my previous roles as RBM, and tremendously enjoyed my time with the CRAC folks and with our dealers and the customers that support up there. It was a wonderful trip I had one year in Alberta in the winter as we went looking for boom trucks throughout the province. And I'll always remember the question I got from the press, which was, where will we find these products? I said, you will find them all over the place. It's like going to Africa. You'll know you're going to see wild animals, but where we're going to see them, we'll have to track them down. And our boom trucks run all over the country in Canada. And I look forward to finding somebody to take that role and move forward with that. As Mark mentioned before, we have Brian Hill and Mike Warner also supporting us on the aftermarket and service support side. So that's really some of the people that help drive boom trucks and industrial cranes into Canada. On the next slide, what you see is kind of some examples of our product offering. We have everything straight boom, full powered wise from 8 tons to 60 tons. And as Buzz Lightyear would say, up and away and to infinity and beyond. Where we stop, we don't know yet, but I will tell you that we are continuing to grow our product and beyond the 60-ton piece. The next piece, a couple of the new pieces in the product offering is the NBT 40-2. This is a product that started in mid-1990s in the 1500, which was a 36-ton product offering. And then that grew into the 40-ton, 1800, and then from there into the NBT 40 and where we are today. So it's really building on a strong platform of success, a product that has been all over the country in Canada. The NBT 40s specifically in Canada are well over 300 units, in its lifespan. And I think quite honestly, quite almost double that. But that just kind of goes to show what we're building on. And the product that we're bringing out now, it's in full production. We're getting through the last bits and pieces of some software validation, and we'll have those units shipping to the marketplace any week now. And what you'll see on the next slide is some of the product characteristics of the NBT 40-2. We have moved it to a 40 and 45 ton platform. Max boom length remains the same, really, at 127 and 142. A new addition is the 20-degree tilting cab, as well as offering the NTC package for our outrigger spans and the truck crane market, if you will. We had a lot of questions, and certainly in North American marketplace, of how can we make this more competitive in more opportunities and more specific environments for applications. It's got a compact wheelbase, which you'll see here is, I think it's a 260-inch wheelbase that we've got there, and we can get down even a little more narrower than that. So the shipments, like I said, will begin in earnest here in the next week or two. We'll be looking at delivering quite a few of these before the end of the year. And it is a platform that has been tremendously successful. And I think one of the major things I wanted to bring to the market was something that would continue to build on that and not really reinvent the wheel, if you will. So we've got a lot to look forward there. On the next slide, we've got a couple of just a summary of some of the additional pieces. You've got a 40-45 ton configuration, 127 or 142 foot booms, a 31 to 55 foot telescopic jib option, internal A2B standard, and then standard or extended torsion box options. And the standard torsion box option allows you to have that smaller, shorter wheelbase for better turn ratio, while the extended torsion box, if you choose that, gives you the ability to have 360 control depending on the truck mount without a front stabilizer. The ANSI 92.2 rating is something that has become a hot topic in the American market, but we won't have that product offering coming out of the gate for this. We'll stay focused on a couple of our other products to offer that. So that's the NBT 40-2 class. When you think about the evolution of where we've come from in the last 5+ years, it has been bigger and longer and tougher and better. And National has just really, really filled that line here, even more so with the NBT 60XL. So the NBT 60XL started off the platform with our NBT 50L, which is 151 foot of full powered boom, basically building off that, and went to the 60XL, and now we have, or excuse me, the 60L, and then we have the 60XL. The 60XL has a, more robust bearing, a better turret, and it gives you quite a bit more lifting chart performance in the crane. And as you can see here, it's still available on a four-wheel or four axle configuration. We've got a 16,000-pound removable counterweight system that you can see in the back, and NTC package with the 4 outrigger spans, anemometer at the top, cameras that go all the way through it. And then also you'll have 2 different jib options for this package. And one is that extendable jib for the telescopic piece. But one of the first offerings for National Crane is the lattice jib that's on this package in the L series. And that's a 36-foot fixed lattice jib that is performed tremendously well. So on the next slide, we just kind of briefly go over some of the piece features here. Like I said, a 5-section full power boom, 36-foot offsettable. One of the other things we developed with our customer base as we've gone through is rapid attach platforms with the YRAP platform and the RRAP platform. Those have been tremendously well received, and our dealers have done a great job in promoting that throughout the marketplace. I mentioned the 20-degree tilting cab. We have dual axis joystick standard. One of the most favorite features for some of our engineers are the Bluetooth, AM/FM radio, and speakers. And let's face it, when you're buying a crane and you're working a crane and you're working in the job sites, this becomes your mobile office if you're the owner operator. And having that ability to have the Bluetooth and the speakers really makes it more comfy, and it makes the operator or the owner more productive. So, and I mentioned the NTC package. So those are 2 of our brand new products coming out. The NBT 60XL has actually been out since December of last year, and a number of units have been in the field, and the success and the response that we've received back has been tremendous. So either of these products are available. You can, if you have questions on these, you can certainly call me directly. My contact information is available through the CRAC, or we have our dealer partners in Strongco and Falcon Equipment that have been working these products into the field. On the next slide, what you'll see is just a brief summary of some of the industrial crane products that we bring to marketplace. Kind of a wonderfully overlooked package, if you will. In all the big cranes and the things that we do, the industrial cranes seem to get that, oh yeah, that's right, you have that too. And these are really the workhorses in any particular equipment yard. They run, like I said, from 9 tons to 25 tons, dual fuel, tier 4 diesel. We can actually do tier 3 for export, and they have jib options, they have 4-wheel drive options, they have oscillating axle options, 4-wheel steer, crab steer. Tremendously versatile product line there, but just a very quick snapshot there. I know that I wanted to say thank you to all the CRAC members. I know that we're running a little tight on some time, but the last thing I will impart you with is I've been with Manitowoc for over just about 18 years. And most all of that has been focused in the National Crane Boom product line. I love this product line. I love our team. I love our company. We do the right things for the right reasons and bring great products to provide great solutions. So if there's anything else we can do to help you answer those questions, provide those options, please contact us. And I thank you so much, Claire, for the opportunity to present to our wonderful team members at CRAC.
Oh, thank you, Mike, for participating. We did get a question What are the axle ratings on the NBT 60?
So forgive me, I'm going to give this to you in US as opposed to metric, but when we look at the NBT 60, depending on your configuration, obviously with options, we typically see this coming in at about 86,000 pounds US. And on those axle ratings with the 4-axle configuration, you're under 20,000 pounds for each axle rating there. Depending on the market that you're going into, and we certainly have mounted these on some tandem tridems up in the Canadian marketplace, we can work with you specifically on axle spacing to get to where you need to be for the axle requirements.
Terrific. And I do have a question. I mean, COVID has certainly caused a lot of challenges. Where are you around the current truck chassis manufacturing availability issues?
Oh my gosh, such a great question, Claire. Thank you so much. It is, I know everybody has heard about the pandemic and the impacts of the vendor supply chain. And I will tell you that globally, we're fractured. We are fractured in such a way that the truck manufacturers are really, really struggling, like a lot of manufacturers are. Not all of their challenges are unique, but they certainly have a massive impact on my product line. I don't move many boom trucks without trucks underneath them for carriers. We are working and partnering with Freightliner, Kenworth, Mack, Peterbilt, all international, any of the major truck manufacturers you can think of. We're working with to try to build this partnership. In 21, it looks like we will really suffer. I mean, there are well over 25,000 chassis stranded around North America, or even in the Americas right now, that are in some shape or form built, ready to ship. They're missing a lot of the impact are chips to make the systems run, whether it's Bendix brake systems or the display systems or the TCU and the transmission. There's just certainly challenges all over the place. And we look forward to kind of getting through this, but we have worked in a lot of partners and we are securing more and more chassis for 2022 as we go through. So we continue to struggle with this. It's a great question, and I have dealers that are being impacted by it daily, but we're working very ferociously, I can tell you, to get this under wraps and to pull this through.
Yeah, we've heard that this is a major issue for a lot of companies. So thank you very much, Mike. You mentioned that we are running over time. It's okay. This is a product that we want to live for a long duration of time in our video library. So we will carry on, and people can, watch the video later on if they miss some of the parts today. So thanks again, Mike, and I'm ready.
You're welcome. Thank you, Claire.
You're welcome. To introduce our next speaker, I'm really pleased. We actually share a passion for running, Diane. It's great meeting you, and welcome. Diane is Sales Director for Manitowoc Potain Crane, and I turn this over to you now, Diane.
Hi, Claire. I'm so glad to be here for the first time presenting to the association members. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today, and I'm glad I'll have some time to talk about Potain tower cranes. So I'll start introducing our team. So that's me there to the left part of the slide. So I'm responsible for sales of Potain tower cranes in the US and Canada. I do have currently a sales position open. So meanwhile, I'm covering CRAC, who is one of our dealers in Canada for the self-rack tower crane. So I am their account manager currently. Steve Johnson, Steve supports Rapicon, and he also supports all our initiatives for GME or top slewing tower cranes growth in Canada and in the US. Steve have been working with tower cranes for 20 plus years. He's very knowledgeable, and he had worked with some pretty exciting and challenging tower cranes projects in Canada in partnership with Rapicon. Chris Cornelli, he's our after sales support manager. So he supports our dealers with parts, service, and training support. So next slide, I'm gonna show our map in Canada. So this is our distribution for top slewing tower cranes. As I mentioned previously, Rapicon is our dealer out east. We have been working with Rapicon and Red for many, many years now. They are very knowledgeable when it comes to, as I said, with the top slewing tower cranes, every project is a different project. There's a lot of infrastructure projects that use our cranes, and definitely Rapicon has a great know-how and experienced technicians and staff to help our customers there to figure out what's the best crane for their project. You're gonna see that in a large part of the country, we do actually sell direct, including in the West Canada, so British Columbia and other province. We currently do not have distribution for the top slewing tower cranes. So Steve Johnson, who I just introduced, he will be your contact if you need a quote for top slewing tower cranes. Next slide, I'm gonna show our bottom slewing tower cranes, which is our self-erect tower cranes. So our partner in Canada is CRAC. CRAC has distribution for all the provinces that are listed in this slide. CRAC they are our dealer for self-erect cranes only. They have been doing also a tremendous job for us. Same thing that I said about Rapicon. CRAC is very knowledgeable with the self-erect tower crane product. And they have been supporting our customers in Canada for many years now. So now I'm going to jump in and talk about what we have been doing in the last couple of years in terms of new product development. We actually have been very busy, which is great, very exciting in the last couple of years, working on some projects that the market have been asking us. If there is one thing that I want to say about the Manitowoc team and the Potain team is Potain, we have been making tower cranes for 90 plus years. And our engineering and new product development team is really good to listen to what our customers are telling us. So we really do appreciate every time we have an opportunity to talk to a customer in a job site or in a trade show or in an event like today, and we get feedback saying, hey, I really would like to see this in a new crane, or you guys are lagging behind here. So we really listen to the voice of our customers, and we put that, we put our efforts and our money in developing those products. So the two products that I'm gonna talk about today, both of those products, we got a lot of the voice of the customer in the developing process. So the first one, it's our newest self-erect tower crane. So it's the IGO T99. It's a 6-ton self-erect tower crane. If I have to say one thing about this crane, its predecessor, we had 45 meters of jib radio, and everybody was asking us for that 3 meters extra, right? They're like, oh, you guys just need to have that 48 meters, that would make a huge difference. So this crane, we just launched it this past summer. It's brand new. It has 48 meters jib. This crane has a new hoist as well. So the hoist package for this crane is going to be very similar to what you see in one of our largest cranes. So it's a very fast, high performance, we call HPL, high performance lifting hoist. So that's what you're going to find in this new IGO T99. The self-erect tower cranes, they are getting more and more popular in Canada and in the US as well. And a big reason for that is because this product, it's compact, it's easy to transport, and it's easy to set up, right? So you can get to the job site and be up and running really fast if you compare to a traditional or a regular top slewing tower crane. For this crane specifically, you need 3 trucks. So 1 truck for the crane, two trucks for counterweights, and for the tower mast if you need to get to the max height. So really, we're talking about a lot of saving transportation, again, if you compare to a regular top slewing tower crane. The next product I'm going to show you today, it's the new Potain MDT 489. So this is our newest addition to our flat top tower cranes lineup. During the last couple of years, I think it's safe to say that the flat top tower cranes are getting more and more popular. One of the reasons I would say is if you have a congested job site where you need to have multiple tower cranes in the job, definitely this crane, it's a great solution for that, because you need, it requires less clearance between one crane and the other. Also, if you're working close to an airport, that would be a great crane to have there as well. As again, the same thing, you require less clearance there because you don't have the cat head on the top of the crane. Those cranes, they're more compact to transport if you compare to a hammerhead crane. They are quicker to erect because the way those cranes are designed and the way Potain design our cranes components, you are able to move this crane in less trucks than if you compare even with our competitors' topless tower cranes. Quick assembling as well, one of the points here, and there is many others if you look at the entire crane setup process, but I did included the dedicated sling point for full jib erection. So definitely that saves you time right there. And our CCS, which is our crane control system, which enables the operator to set up this crane in a really fast. When we talk about CCS, I do want to mention one of my colleagues, Kevin Blaney. He mentioned earlier CCS as well. So yes, we do share, and this is a very nice thing for our customers who are already a Manitowoc customer with a Grove product or with the Manitowoc Crawler product. The CCS, it's basically the same interface. So if you have an operator who is also a tower crane operator, he's going to be familiar with our crane control system. For the tower cranes, for the newer products, so both products that I just introduced to you guys today, we do offer the Crane Star Diag capabilities, which basically will enable your technician or our technician, if they reach out to us, to remote access your crane for remote troubleshooting and remote diagnostics. This crane is our 450 series crane. It comes with an 80 meters maximum jib radio in a 20 or 25 ton capacity. We do expect to see this crane to be very popular in the Canadian market. There was a great deal of anticipation for Manitowoc to bring this crane. We didn't have a 400 series crane in our lineup for the last couple of years. So we're very excited to finally being ready to introduce this crane to the marketplace. And that concludes my presentation on the Potain tower cranes. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Diane. I have a quick question here. You mentioned the quick setup and compact transportation. Tell me about the iGo T99 and I believe the MDT 489. How long does it take to get it up and running?
So with the T99, you can get this crane set up and running in a day, so in less than 8 hours. Because that crane doesn't really, or any of the self-erect tower cranes doesn't really require fixing angles, so you don't have to do that before you get the crane to the job site. It's a really quick setup. With the MDT 489, even with assembling time, if you have your prep work done, so your foundation is ready, you get your crane components on the job site, and you have a knowledgeable crew there, you can get that crane up and running in 1.5 days, which is, if you compare us with our competitors, that's definitely a huge difference. And you're saving time and you're being definitely more efficient on the job site.
Thank you very much, Diane, for your presentation. I think we're ready to welcome Mark back to give us a little bit more info, and we'll get everyone back together at the end. Thanks, Diane.
Yeah,
Hi, Mark.
thank you. Thank you, Claire. Yeah, we just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware as we talk through this. It's not just about products, but it's about support and solutions to help you do your jobs every day. And we've got a number of resources that we're providing links to. Claire, I think we can get this sent out after to all the members. But we have, and I'll just very quickly walk through a few of them. We have developed a series, what we call Manitowoc Garage videos. They're really how-to videos, some common things that happen in terms of crane operation. It's really mostly focused on operators, but there's a growing number of videos out on YouTube that are available. We also have a diagnostic app. So sometimes in the operation of cranes, there's an error code that pops up. This diagnostic app, you plug it into this diagnostic app and it'll tell you exactly what's happening with the crane. We also provide a number of lifting support tools on our website, lift planning, outrigger pad loads, those kind of things. We've already talked about our lift solutions business. We do have a new used crane site that's available. It's a new site about used cranes where we put not only our inventory, but our dealers will also post their inventory of used cranes. So if you're looking for a used crane, that would be the place to go. And then Ion briefly mentioned our remanufacturing and rebuilding program, which is called Encore, and that's available as well. And then also on the next slide, we've provided some contacts for a lot of our dealers. So if you're in a need for parts, service, sales, we provided some contact information for our dealers, and we'll make sure that everybody has that information as well.
That's terrific, Mark. Guess we'll open up for questions. I know we went over time, but that's quite fine by me. This is a product that will live for at least a year until you're ready to introduce new product and services, and we will have this in our library. I'm just going to check on questions. I don't see any questions coming in. If anyone wants to, there is a raised hand anywhere. If not, we are ready to wrap this up. Thank you, Amy, for your support in the back end. You can stop the sharing as everyone comes back on. Wonderful. Thank you very much to all of you for participating in this webinar. I believe we have a great product to share in our video library, and I certainly learned a great deal about the Manitowoc Company. So thanks again.
Well, thank you,
Claire.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you, everyone.